Hi, I'm Renee Fiorella, and I recently got a call from my dear friend and musical artist and DJ, Tom Slick, who had asked if I'd come down by him for a visit to chat and help introduce him, his background, and his musical talents to a larger audience here on the internet. So please check it out and enjoy. So hey, Tom Slick, thanks again for inviting me over to catch up and chat about your career. You've been a musician for over 10 years and involved with music all your life. I was wondering if I might ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
Okay, so let's start with, how did your love of music begin?
That was when I was 3 years old. I went to a play, my sister was in it, and I met her music teacher. And ever since then, I kept on going back to meet him again and again. When I got to her school, he said, "We'll go find out if you're talented." Because I knew how music was supposed to be at that young age. The first time I ever touched a drum set was incredible. It was like something you could never imagine. I was able to express myself.
Wow, that's great. And so you played since you were 3 years old?
About 4.
And you got a drum set?
Yep.
Wow, that's great. And did you play drums throughout the rest of your life?
Yeah, I played all through school. I even played in high school.
That's amazing. What was your favorite part of that?
I like when you get together with a group of friends and sit down and go, "This is the way it's going to be."
Awesome.
Then you take it in front of 100 people and see their expression on their face. It's not if it's right or wrong for us. It's the person's mood that counts.
Nice, nice. Well, that's great, Tom. You know, there's a couple other questions I had for you too. Like, knowing that you've played drums for so long, I was just wondering, were there people in your life who nurtured you to pursue a music career?
Yeah, my sister's music teacher really inspired me when he figured out, he tried all the instruments that I could play. The drums were the easiest and more natural for me.
Sure.
So when I started playing with them, I played nonstop. I could play Bon Jovi at the age of 5.
Wow, that's amazing. What else did you like? What other music were you listening to back then?
I was listening to, back then I was listening to like Bob Dylan, Neil Young,
Wow.
Rolling Stones, the Beatles.
Great.
I could listen to any.
Could you play it too?
Not as good as them because they wrote it.
Yeah.
So one thing I know, when you write your own, you make it yours. People say they can play another person's song, but it doesn't feel the same.
That's when it's your own.
Yeah, and you know, when it's yours, and it's part of you for the rest of your life.
That's awesome. And you've done a lot of your own stuff. Makes me ask you also, how did these other people that were, you know, influencing you help you to pursue your music career? In other words, take it from amateur to professional.
One day I thought, everybody should have a dream. That was one of mine. Take it from one level to the next. And I don't know what my next dream is yet, but everybody should have one. Everybody should keep on reaching for the stars.
Yeah, you always have. You know, you've been doing your own music, not just playing other people's stuff, but doing your own creative, original pieces. What inspires your music?
Everything around me. Most people just hear noise, like trains, birds, any sound I hear I can make music out of it.
That's amazing. I've heard some of your stuff and it's incredible. I can see how those things happen. How's the process work for you?
It's different every piece. There's no set formula. It's not like math. Music is math, but it is not math.
What do you mean by that exactly?
Music is done in numbers, the count of 4, or whatever you set it to be. And it has to be that all the way through. Unless you change it for a short period of time, then bring it back to where it began. Everything has a beginning and an end.
It's true. In life and in music, right?
Yep.
Cool. So a couple other things. Like, who and what are your musical influences, like, in your actual music today?
My music today, I like Billy Ray Cyrus, Miley Cyrus, Chris Rea.
Popular.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think they basically have the same drive I do.
Yeah.
You're born with it, or you get it later in life when something special touches your heart. It burns.
Burns, yeah.
It's like a little fire. When you're a little kid, you start playing pots and pans. And then I got my drum set, and then it became noise to my dad.
Well, are you playing drums right now, or what kind of instruments are you playing
I
mostly
haven't
these days?
played for a little while. I had other adventures and things I wanted to do, but I feel kind of that's part of me that's missing.
So, how are you making your music more so now today?
The computer.
Ah, yeah. And so you're making original sounds using the computer?
Yeah, but nothing feels like the same thing as touching something and something coming out of it.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky you can do both.
Yeah, I guess.
So what's your favorite song or songs, and how come?
I like. Oh yeah, I forgot one other artist. I like Nick Jonas.
From the Jonas Brothers?
Yeah, but he's on his own now.
Yeah.
And I like one of his songs. It really inspired me to even do this.
Cool. Which one do you know?
I can't remember on top of my head.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. Are there any other songs that stand out throughout your life, though?
Yeah, Miley Cyrus has a song called "The Climb."
Yeah, you like that one?
I like that one because you get to a point where you're going up, and you get to the point where you're leveled off again. And then you go back up higher and higher.
Yeah.
And higher.
Gotta reach for it, though.
You gotta reach for it, and you know, like I tell anybody, you reach for the stars. Don't stop reaching. They're just out of your reach. Someone's gonna come along and lift you up higher.
Yeah. You stayed on track with that all your life. You're lucky. You know, a lot of people, they give up, not you. You always keep reaching.
No, but I have my moments where I'm thinking, is this the right thing to do? Everybody goes through that. But just remember to look in the mirror. You have to be happy with yourself.
That's pretty inspiring words. I like that. That's great. So, you know, maybe at this point you want to talk about your collaborative partnership with John Rivera.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's do that. Let's see if maybe we can get him to join us.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. out great. John, thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So for everybody here, this is John Rivera, who's a partner, has a partnership with Tom Slick and his music, and so glad that he could join us today to kind of pick up on some of the history here a little bit. And thought maybe we could start with, why don't you guys tell us about your collaborative process that, Tom, you and John have undertaken to create your music.
I'm going to let my buddy over here explain that one to you.
Okay.
You mean me? Okay, so actually, I met Tom back in 2000 when his parents and Tom came into the store that I was working at, a retail music store, and I was in charge of computer software and keyboards. He came in to purchase a keyboard and software to allow him to create music on the computer. I showed him what to buy. He bought it. He left with his parents, and about 2 days later, I got a call from Tom saying that he can't get it to work. So I went to his house, showed him how to use it, and that led to this whole collaboration.
That's some customer service.
Well, yeah, a high quality customer
I'll
service.
say.
And it turned out that I would come over to his house every week, and I would teach him how to use the software, and bit by bit, he got to learn to put it together. After a while, we had decided, actually, Tom had decided to put a CD together. And a few years later, we came out with our first CD.
Yeah, I was a big fan of it. I thought it was terrific. My understanding is that there's 2 CDs that you have out.
Yes.
One that came out, help me out if I get the dates wrong, but one in 2006.
And another one in 2008.
That first one was called New World.
New World,
Yep.
exactly.
And the second one was called A Walk with Friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about those?
Sure. As I call it, the birth of the first one, which was years in the making. The collaboration basically was bits and pieces that Tom would put together, and I would take his music and refine it, and we finally get a finished product, and we would have, I can't remember how many songs we actually had on that first CD.
9.
9. You got better memory than I do. But it took a while to do, and the second CD back in 2008, A Walk with Friends, which relates to how we feel in regards to a walk with friends.
Yeah.
It's what we do in life and so on.
What's nice about both of them, at least from, somebody myself who just loves listening to them, is that each one of them, the first one, New World, I think that was related to when your nephew was born?
Yes.
And that's that, so that... you
I
want to
finished
talk
that song a few days before he was born.
about- That's pretty beautiful.
And
Yes.
till this day, on his way to school, my sister has to play it.
That's cool.
That's great.
And the second CD too, A Walk with Friends, the thing that's awesome about them, besides they're just great listens, is that there's a lot of emotion in there. I think each song is real personal. Each song has a different style. That leads me to ask, it's interesting that there's really no specific type of music to say that, to bind that kind of music. How would you guys describe your music?
Exactly
yourself?
like that, because it's I could not put it in any particular genre or style, because as you listen to it, you'll find that you have a little bit of pop, a little bit of rhythm and blues, smooth jazz,
Absolutely.
a little Latin.
Yeah.
So it's really a mix, a real mix.
I will say the one thing that's constant, at least for me with every song, is it's uplifting.
Yes,
There's a really
Yes.
positive feel for everything.
yes, exactly.
Is
That's
that
the way we feel.
intentional?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? And that's funny you would say that, because no, it wasn't intentional, but it came out that way, which I think proves and shows what the collaboration was and where we wanted to head, and the outcome of it
Yeah.
was.
You feel that way too, Tom?
Yeah, I feel John's a big piece of my puzzle. He probably feels the same way about me, I hope.
Oh, positively.
I couldn't do it without him. because he kind of drives me. He's like the motor.
Yeah.
And many people don't get a chance to meet him like I know him. And I wish people would be able to meet him at the level I do, but I don't think anybody has the time that we take him.
Yeah. They'll have to just come see you guys perform and listen to your music. They'll sure get a sense of it, because you guys make a great
Yeah,
tune.
and I think on the second CD, actually, there's a song that I wrote for you.
Oh yeah, it's a personal favorite.
Yeah.
Coffee Beaning. I love that song.
Yeah.
I love that song.
It's great. It's fabulous.
Yeah. So, I had a couple other things. Just talking about that, found it very interesting, your creative process that you and John undertake together. You want to describe it a bit?
I'm going to let John explain this.
Cool.
Again, every song, he happened to mention earlier that every song is different. The process is different on each one of them. Each one is a completely different personality sometimes. The approach, the finish, the whole process. Basically, the formula is that Tom gets pieces of music that I showed him how to do on the software, puts it together. Then we get together and we figure out what to keep, what not to keep, what to change. It's a lot of detail, refining, and eventually we come to a finished product. So
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like the first CD, we had a release date for it. 4 nights before that, John and I were up to 1 o'clock in the morning
Wow.
finishing it.
finishing it, so we would have it for the premiere party.
Yeah. It's a lot of work that goes into this.
And
a lot of love, too.
it's
Exactly.
a lot of love, and I think my favorite is probably Walk with Friends.
Is it?
That did not take as much stress.
Is it because it was your second time through the process, you think? Or?
No, because like John said, they're always different. So you can't say, oh, we're going to do it the same way every time. Each song is a whole different avenue
Right.
that him and I take. Him and I are both on the same road. But sometimes we're riding along together going, are we supposed to go this way? Or go that way? Or go straight?
Nice.
And sometimes we don't even know till we get to the crossroads which way we're gonna go.
That's true. Pure innovation.
Exactly. It's an adventure.
Can people still get your CDs? Like if anyone was interested in
Yes.
getting one of the older releases? Or,
Actually, contact us through the website.
Yeah.
which is, remind me again, it's on www.myspace.com/Tom, Slick, and John.
Exactly.
Yes.
Great. That'd be great. And if you haven't checked it out, you really should. They're fantastic. You're going to love them.